Okay, welcome to 7th grade GT Science in Schoology. We're going to do a very quick tutorial here for both students and parents that will allow you to kind of get a basic idea of how each week looks. So again, parents, hopefully your children are sharing this with you. And students, this would be a good resource for you to use frequently throughout the course if you're forgetting, or I may ask you to refer back to this if you're having some trouble following the directions for the course. So obviously this is going to be a little bit from my view, so it'll look slightly differently, but not much from the student view. First thing that you'll do obviously when you log into Schoology is you'll go to Courses, you're going to click on 7th grade Science GT. Then you're going to want, it will immediately default to taking you to the Updates page. This Updates page is, just like it sounds, places where I'll post updates to the course. Usually about once a week I'll post something in there. It may be more than that, just if there's something that comes up, you know, if we have a snow day or something along those lines. But always read the recent posts and always acknowledge or pay attention to the fact there's, usually I type more than will fit in the little preview area, so always click the show more button. This just reminds students to always work through everything in order. We're going to talk about that in a second. The next thing you're going to want to do, you can glance over here at what is upcoming, but I would not pay a ton of attention to that because students get a little overly focused on that sometimes and they just want to go in and do the things that are graded and they end up skipping other things, or they're unable to be successful in the things that are graded because they didn't do the background reading or assignment or activity or whatever that would give them the knowledge to be able to do well on, let's say, the solubility test. So under materials here, we have a variety of folders that students should have gone through before they started even week 0 in this course. This was all required, and students, please remember that I can go back and look at what you've looked at, how long you were there, how many times you viewed it, all that kind of stuff. So if you skip over large portions of this, it is immediately visible to me that you've done that, okay? So let's just get that out of the way ahead of time and understand that. Let's go ahead and look at this week 6 here right now. And you'll see that each week is set up, with the exception of maybe the first 2 weeks that are more introductory, each week is set up the same. We have a week overview, we have a little background information, a little story perhaps, some learning targets. Then there is a general plan. So I'll put in here a plan. Students, you can choose whether to follow this or not, but if you follow this plan, you will have all your work done by Friday. It does not have every single assignment and reading and things like that, in these lists, but it tells you if you are essentially done by the things in this list by this date. If you're done with Frank and the Archimedes law by Wednesday, then you're on track to finish everything by Friday. Here, density practice sheet, Frank the Unicorn, these are things that are actually graded for the week. Just like a normal physical classroom, you're going to have the majority of the work that you do is not something that an actual grade is assigned to. It's background, right? You have to do the learning before you can get something, you know, an assignment or a quiz or whatever that has an actual grade attached to it. After that, there are all these different pages. Okay? And so you must work through these things in order. Okay? So take, for example, this first one. You'll click on this. You'll watch this video of Steve Spangler creating a 9-layer density column. Then you'll just click the next button in the top right corner. And you'll continue to go through these one after the other. Sometimes it's just watching a video or reading an article. Okay? Remember, the expectation is that for any readings, not necessarily every video, those are just some examples. Some videos, yes, some no, but for all readings, that my expectation is that you are taking notes on this information. You can see here, copy this density chart. You have a hyperlink here. You click on that, and it should bring you up to this, okay? You're going to copy that into your notebook. Keep going, work your way through here. We don't need to click through every single page, but you'll see, oh, look, graded. So if we go back to the week, and anytime you can click here at the top to get the overview, you'll also see that any of these things here that are assignments due, I also have in all capital letters right after it, graded, just so the students know, and parents if they're looking at this, know that that assignment has a grade attached to it. The rest of these are going to be a variety of resources, just like a regular classroom. Okay? Stories, some are readings. I broke all of these topics down into separate readings here. So they're just divided up so it's not one long piece of information. Okay? And then by the time you get to the weekly wrap up, just again, a way for you to check yourself. Did you learn these things? Here's some stuff coming up for next week. Don't pay attention to the fact this says all unpublished yet, because I'm showing you a week that I have not published to students yet, just so we can look at an example. But that's the big thing. Go through everything in order, just like a regular class. You can't do Friday's work without having done Monday and Tuesday's work. It just does not work out well that way.